Welcome to Lat.
Good start. Good start.
As always, I'm Spencer.
I'm Magnum Smollett.
Ah!
Are you all right?
I'm great.
Oh, hey, Landon.
But
continue.
okay, so prior to this match, Brett and Steve were on some very interesting paths, right? So this is all pre-Brett full heel turn. So you're seeing a few little shades ever since his build up to the previous year's WrestleMania, WrestleMania 12 with the Iron Man match with Shawn Michaels.
I
right?
think we will revisit that at some point. But
We'll
continue.
definitely revisit that on this podcast at some point. But buckle up because that's going to be like a 5-hour podcast. But anyway, so in that you can kind of see some frustration building in Brett's character. He says some things during that feud, and his whole deal with Shawn Michaels is very interesting in how Brett is able to toe the line between a heel and a face.
I was going to say, you got to remember, it's Shawn Michaels, the boy toy.
Right. That's kind of, you see a little bit of the evil Brett coming out.
And if it wasn't for the boy toy losing his smile, right, quote unquote, this match doesn't happen either. You
exactly
talk
right.
about the things that had to fall into place for us to get Austin and Hart. That's another one because it was supposed to be sort of like a Rocky II style Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, where Bret Hart gets the upper hand at WrestleMania 13, and instead we get this one, which ends up being, I'm sure, almost better than that would have ever been.
That's right. And this match, to an extent, sets up the Montreal Screwjob, because this match is where Bret Hart truly starts hating Shawn Michaels, because he felt that, hey, I did the job for Shawn last year. This is my turn. Bret was booked to win the title back at WrestleMania 13 from Shawn. Shawn backs out. Shawn loses his smile and backs out. And Bret always saw that as a very disrespectful move, and he took it personally. And so had Shawn not done that, had everything not lined up, we would have never gotten this match. Very interesting point.
I was going to say, during the main event, before it goes on, Bret Hart walks out and he basically cuts a promo on everybody. He cuts a promo on Sid, he cuts a promo on Taker, and then he says, and Shawn Michaels, you take your little pussyfoot phony injury and you go back to the locker room.
That's it.
And he says, because everybody in the dressing room, everybody in the locker room, and the audience knows I'm the best there is, best was ever. And then Sid chokeslams him, and then everybody cheers.
And, I don't know if there's a way we can get that promo in here at some point.
You're going to be terribly frustrated. Extremely frustrated over what has just happened. Whoa! Frustrated isn't the goddamn word for it. This is bullshit.
Oh, we apologize, ladies and
Screw
gentlemen.
me. Everybody screws me, and nobody does a goddamn thing about it. Nobody in the building cares. Nobody in the dressing room cares. So much goddamn injustice around here. I've had it up to here.
We apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody knows it. I know it. Everybody knows it. I should be the World Wrestling Federation champion.
Get him out of the ring.
Everybody just keeps turning a blind eye. You keep turning a blind eye to it. I got that Gorilla Monsoon. He turns a blind eye to it. Everybody in that goddamn dressing room knows that I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Cut him off.
If you don't like it, tough shit.
If you haven't heard that promo after the cage match, that's probably Bret Hart's best promo.
Well, they show a part of it in the opening promo that's right before this match.
A heavily edited part of it.
It is. And it has to be, right?
Some very
Yeah.
colorful language in that promo.
But one of the very last lines of that promo that I just love, that I really think sticks out about this sort of where Bret's at as a character, the quote is, "If Austin wins, what becomes of Bret Hart then?"
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's the story of the match. Both of these guys have predetermined characters, and at the end of this match, they are fundamentally changed, both of them. And that's, to me, what makes this match one of the greatest of all time.
There is a fan dressed in a chef's outfit, and
Yes.
he has a sign that says, I cooked for The Rock. I just wanted to point that out. I love that moment so much.
They get to the Spanish announce table, and Shawn Michaels takes off Hugo Savinage's boot.
It was right there.
It was right. I mean, what
just-
else you can hit him with?
He just pulls his shoe off and whacks him in the head with
he
it.
hits Triple H with it, and King goes, "That's a heel for a heel, isn't it?"
But I love he doesn't give Hugo his shoe back. He just throws it on the floor. Like, give the man his shoe back.
During Triple H's entrance, they say Triple H is the second Grand Slam champion in WWE history.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm getting chills thinking about it.
That-
Awesome.
Spencer, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, awesome, right? So I'm going to give you a quote from JR for Shawn's entrance and then one from King for Triple H's entrance, right? Because both of them in this match are prime JR and King, and I don't know if I have a match that I prefer them in. Like, this might be my favorite match between the two of them for JR and King. But JR says during Shawn's entrance, he says, "I always hoped that Shawn Michaels would get back in the ring one more time, and that's what we're seeing here. So my personal dream has come true. But I pray this is not a mistake that Michaels will regret, that his family will regret for the rest of his natural life."
So good.
On the flip side,
So good.
on the flip side, during Triple H's entrance, King says, "There are two things you don't like about Triple H. That's his face. Because only a two-faced individual would be able to stand and put his arm around Shawn Michaels, tell the world that he's Shawn Michaels' best friend, and then take Shawn Michaels' head and run it right through a car window." So let's get to the match itself. So something that I love is that immediately you get personality.
Oh, yeah.
You get Shawn Michaels laying on the top rope while Triple H gets into the ring, acting like this is not a big deal at all when everyone is holding their breath with what's about to happen. And then the second Triple H gets in the ring, Shawn walks up to him. You think there's going to be a big, intense stare down.
Nope.
But Shawn throws the shirt with the scripture on it in Hunter's face. I mean, come on. The symbolism, you could go on for days about that moment right there.
And how about the foreshadowing about... Okay, well, I say foreshadowing. It might not be heavy foreshadowing, but I think it's pretty cool that it'll be several years later, but he comes down from the rafters at WrestleMania. Was it 25 or 26 against The
25.
Undertaker?
25, yeah.
And so it's clear that this is a part of Shawn Michaels that we'll see. And, he wears the cross all the time. He's, it's kind of a part. It's on his T-shirts.
It's in a lot of his tight designs.
Yep.
For the rest of the way.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, we have him tag teaming with God himself at one point. I mean, it's a big deal.
Did he just tell God to get jiggy with it?
Oh, my God.
We will definitely be talking about that match at some point.
That sounds like a... Oh, no. So this match, from the start, is intense. And at the very beginning, you see that Shawn Michaels is in shape.
Oh, yeah. I would say one of my favorite things about this match is that they kind of play to the audience's perception of what Shawn can do. Because I have this kind of match split into 4 sections. Most of the first, I call it the first act, it's a brawl. They're fighting. So the first 5-10 minutes of this match is just Shawn basically out-punching Triple H.
That is a great way to say that. I'm so glad you set it up that way because you're absolutely right.
Now, to be fair, it took me 2-3 watches to kind of see this. But the first time I watched it, I don't remember this being a fight. I remember it being like a knockdown, drag-out brawl. I rewatched it, I'm like, they're playing to audience perception here because the word on the street is that Shawn couldn't go anymore.
Exactly.
So they punch each other for 10 minutes before they start wrestling.
And it starts off so safe. You see it and you kind of think, okay, we are getting the punch, kick, Shawn Michaels. And you're fine with that.
Right.
Because
yeah.
you get
You're
Shawn
good.
Michaels back in the
we'll
ring.
take whatever we
and
can
then
get.
Triple H does a vicious backbreaker out of nowhere. Just boom. And Shawn crumples to the ground like he just had a stroke. He's twitching. Earl is in Shawn's face like, oh my God, are you okay? JR and King are like, oh my God, he may have re-broken Shawn's injured back.
And so it's the backbreakers, and the Irish whips to the corner, where Shawn flies like almost halfway across the ring after hitting the corner.
You can hear a pin drop almost when this is happening in the arena, right? Because people are holding their breath watching Shawn take
There
this
is an
beating.
audible
Right.
every time he does it. He does it 3 separate occasions.
And the whole time, JR is selling the hell out of
he
it.
is.
I like to think that JR is actually crying.
Well, he says, I don't think Shawn Michaels even knows how much pain his back can take. It never fully heals. From what I hear, it never fully heals, and you damn sure don't get in the ring with an athlete like Triple H.
Yeah.
No. But one of my favorite moments is actually backing up a little bit. You're right. They play it safe until Shawn does a suicide dive within
Oh my God,
60
yes.
seconds.
Right.
But then they go back to playing it safe. It's forearm shots, knees to the stomach, throw Triple H into the barricade. They keep it very safe. But the second Triple H gets that backbreaker and he takes over, and it is hard to watch.
And it's not too long into the match until there's a chair involved. And Shawn takes a chair shot to the back.
To the lower back.
And at one point, there's a pinfall, right? And Shawn kicks out. And I think it's Lawler's that says, I'm wondering if Shawn is doing the right thing by kicking out here.
Right. And so
Oh,
they get
yeah.
to this point where the announcer's like rooting like against Shawn to try. It's something that I'll never see, right? They're like basically telling Shawn to give up. They don't want to see him get hurt. So this is the part where the audience is just totally hushed. And JR says they know, talking about the audience, they know the danger that Shawn Michaels is in, but Shawn Michaels' heart maybe doesn't know it because it's still beating.
I got goosebumps right there.
But then you get the backbreaker onto the chair.
And once again, like I said, Shawn sells like a stroke victim when he hits that chair.
He does. And JR says, quick count him, Earl. You know, when
Yeah,
when
he's
they
just
pin
like,
him.
he just says, just give him a quick count and end this.
So the backbreaker onto the chair was so vicious that the chair bends.
Mm-hmm.
And Triple H decides, I'm not finished with this chair.
Nope. He bends it back.
He bends it back.
We got a great line from JR. He says, Triple H is an executioner with a PhD in torture.
And he really does have a PhD in torture. He is so smart in this match.
Oh, it's
There's
incredible.
one moment where Shawn Michaels is on the top rope and Triple H is like groggy and realizes, I can't quite make it to him to push him off. So he pushes Earl Hebner, who then hits the ropes, and so Shawn falls down.
And then he bends forward.
And that's when you get the chair
And
shot.
Triple H hits him in the lower back with the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just flops off like a dead fish.
Absolute genius match building. by
And
Triple H in
we
this
get
match.
another beautiful JR line. Triple H hates Shawn Michaels. Triple H hates our fans. He hates everyone but himself. What an evil egotist that is Triple H.
I feel like, I don't want this to turn into, we're just telling you what the commentary of this match was, but my God, it's so good
It
that
is. Oh,
it
yeah.
has to be brought up. Like, these lines have to be brought up.
This is hands down the best commentary we've heard so far.
Oh, beyond. And so after the backbreaker, after that, JR says something else. He says, after HBK kicks out, he says, the will to win, or is it the will to survive? Because that's what it looks like you're watching at some point. It looks like you're not... the thought of Shawn Michaels winning this match is long gone.
Oh,
it is
yeah.
long out the window.
This-
As you are watching, hoping that he can walk when this match is over. I would just like to briefly say that probably, and this is totally off subject, but one of my favorite things in all of wrestling are pay-per-view names.
Oh, man.
I just can't get enough of it. The cheesier they are, the better. Hard Justice. I mean, that's just...
Don't you love it?
It's just the best.
Well, I love TNA's like Hard Justice, and they had the one-off Hardcore Justice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Sign
and-
me up.
And I got duped into buying that pay-per-view. And then I watched it. I'm like, who the hell are these guys? And I'm like, oh, that's supposed to be Tommy Ooh, Tommy. What is
So you must be a huge fan of Great Balls of Fire.
Oh, come bring it on. Just stomping grounds. Give me these just awesome.
How about Smackville?
Oh, God. Can we not talk about modern pay-per-views, please?
I think this has bonus episode written all over it, just going back through these terrible pay-per-view names because
Bragging rights.
Oh, come on!
I like the concept of bragging rights, but the execution was terrible.
Capital punishment.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
No.
Insurrection.
Oh, Insurrection's a great one because it's in the UK.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll say when WCW ran Capital Punishment in like 1990, it made sense because the main event had Sting in a shark cage. Like, okay, he's not Sting. Had Jim Cornette in the shark cage, so that made sense. Okay, he's being punished because he always interferes in the matches. And then RoboCop comes out. Welcome everybody to the 1992 Royal Rumble match. It's time to rumble. It's time to Royal Rumble. I'm going to school after that.
So, but I will say having the...
Sorry, if you're going to talk about American Badass Undertaker, you got to spit your chew.
I just want to make a point, Paul. As I'm looking at you, do your Vince McMahon voice. I don't think Vince McMahon immediately. You know what I think? I think Vince McMahon off of Camp WWE.
Hey, pal, let's go get some steak wraps. You and me, Austin, and Triple H's father, Quadruple H.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Can we talk about the size of British Bulldog at this point?
Massive.
He looking real jack, brother. He looking real jack.
We get one of, if not the greatest promo in wrestling history.
And then we get, put that cigarette out.
Yeah, what was up with that?
The dating app sort of had this reputation already, but the wrestling community is so specific, right? Like it's full of just really, really unique, awesome people. So could you imagine a dating app that was made specifically for wrestlers?
I think that would be probably the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah, I mean, well, so not to say that dating apps are for only people who are, hitting rock bottom.
Oh.
But, I feel like sometimes, that's kind of where people are. They feel like, they go to an app like, I quit.
Well, sometimes I think if you're looking for a great app to find someone on the wrestling community, you might be looking for someone in the X division, if you will.
Hey, a lot of people are looking for that X division partner,
Right.
But, and sometimes someone's going to look for an app like, maybe it could be called Between the Ropes.
Oh, Between
That's a really good one.
the Ropes. I didn't think about that.
Think about that, right?
Welcome, everyone, to New York City, Madison Square Garden, WrestleMania 10.
Okay, so if anybody else had the WrestleMania Gold box,
So good.
when I was a kid, that's all I
good.
watched. I would always have some WrestleMania on, and that music was the background music for every
everyone.
DVD.
They only used it from like 94 to like 98, and they stopped using it. They used it for 4 years.
Well, no, I think they used it like as far back as WrestleMania 1.
No, WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3 had their own theme.
Oh.
And then 4 through 8 had this really, really awesome like rock and roll theme. And then we got like the Linda music from like 9 through, I think, 9 through, I want to say 14. I think 14 was the last one that used it.
One of the things that we've set up for you guys listening is that email address, so you can email us, mistakes that we make, lastmatchstanding@gmail.com. But the reality is that if you're listening and you say, oh, Landon or Spencer, you definitely were wrong about that, Paul corrects us on the spot. So
Yeah,
it's
he kinda
totally fine.
Sorry, I'm a wrestling nerd.
No, we love it. That's totally the best role. I love that so much. America the Beautiful is performed by, you guessed it, Little Richard.
How about it?
How about it, Little Richard?
Or as Vince calls him, Lil Richard.
Yeah, WrestleMania 9.
Ooh.
Caesar's Palace.
Stu and Helen, Vince said that they had said something, maybe they weren't picking sides or whatever it may have been. And King says, I wouldn't believe that if their tongues were notarized.
Yeah, they're both compulsive liars.
Yeah, like
My favorite one is Vince kind of says it's probably a good thing quite frankly, that Stu and Helen aren't here to see their two children fight, and King says, I would have loved to have seen Stu in his orthopedic tuxedo.
Oh no, the best one for me was, oh man, they're gonna have to kickstart Helen's pacemaker right now.
I mean, Vince McMahon's birthday was this week. Is that better than So I guess Paul, happy birthday, Paul.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you want to give us a few comments on how your birthday went?
74. You made it. Congratulations.
Happy 74th. God damn it.
In 2007, Johnny Gargano made an appearance on an episode of SmackDown.
Yep.
And he was in a squash match against MVP. And MVP was new there at the time. He was having his first United States Championship opportunity against Chris Benoit. And in the lead up to that match, he was like, I am going to prove that I am a worthy United States champion. And so for that, I'm going to defend the honor of this country and wrestle these different champions of other countries.
It's all coming back to me now. I totally forgot
he
about
introduced the champion of Liechtenstein, Cedric von Hausen.
That is an amazing name.
Johnny Gargano comes out in this ridiculous getup from 17th century Europe and wrestles a pitiful match.
I forgot about that.
Can you imagine if he brought that back now?
Oh, please.
It's time.
I'm begging.
Bring it back.
Von Liechtenstein.
Von Liechtenstein for NXT champ.
Hire Cedric.
That's where it started.
All right, that's it. We're doing this. We're going to make this happen, guys.
Come on, Gargano.
Hey,
we know you're
listen,
listening.
We manifested the King of the Ring coming back. This is only our chance to do it again.
So Paul, if Byron Saxton were sitting across from you and you were Dr. Phil, what would you ask him?
Well, I want to know why you let this man talk down to you so much on a weekly basis. You are a talented man. You are a respected man. And you should not put up with that kind of treatment.
Even I wasn't expecting a good Dr. Phil. Way to go.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, I was pretty pleased with
You
it.
guys be put on the spot. I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, on the spot, and it worked out well.
You know who else is a Golden Glove boxing champion? Me either. I forgot.
Oh. What?
I think it's Baron Corbin. Isn't Baron Corbin a Golden Glove boxing champion?
Baron Corbin is...
No wonder you lost trivia this week. You don't even know the answers to your own questions.
Bart Gunn was.
Bart Gunn?
Oh, man.
And The Godfather.
It was Baron Corbin, though, right? Isn't he a Golden Gloves boxing champion? I'm
That's
pretty
sure. In his entrance that Mike Rome is forced to read. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
Better late
that was
than never.
one of my shining moments there.
Mike Awesome goes for the Awesome Bomb. Is that what he says? He says
he
Awesome
just
Bomb?
shouts, Awesome Bomb!
because Joey Styles says, did he just say, what's up, Mom? Did he just say hi to his mother, Mrs. Awesome?
Mrs. Awesome?
That's what he said. And quite frankly, when I heard it, I thought he said, what's up, Mom? That's what I heard. I didn't hear Awesome Bomb. I heard, what's up, Mom?
What's up, Mom?
Which is like the best. That should have been his gimmick.
That would have been...
No, that should have been his finishing move.
Yeah.
Here comes Terry Funk.
Yeah, Terry Funk, who was just a judge of this match, right? He's just coming to congratulate Flair. It's fine. He's just coming to congratulate him.
He walks in and says,
Rick, I want to be the very first person to say congratulations on being a 6-time champion. That's a fantastic achievement you've got there.
Well, shit. Why am I not surprised that you have a good Terry Funk impression? My
of course,
God.
immediately, both Jim Ross and Rick are like, well, thank you very much, Terry, but this is not your moment.
Oh, no, I just want to say that there was a hard fought match, and I think I'd like to be the very first person to challenge you for that title.
And then, Rick's like,
Oh, well, that's a mighty fine...
no, I can't do a Ric Flair impression, but he just immediately goes, well, that's great, Terry, but you just spent the last year in Hollywood rubbing elbows with Sylvester Stallone, so you're not even in the top 10.
Oh, you don't think I'm a top 10 competitor? Oh, I was just joking, Rick. I'm not actually going to challenge you.
I'm Paul. Kurt, you have something that I want. You have my grill.
Oh, I was afraid you were going to gloss over the greatest thing in the history of wrestling.
We get the gong. We get the blue lights. We get the Druids.
The Undertaker comes out on a cart. It's amazing.
It is not a cart. It is a horse-drawn carriage.
A horse-drawn cart. And there's a torch on it.
Okay.
It's a buggy.
It's amazing.
Kurt comes out. They have a stare down. Kurt shows him a little bit of respect, but claims that he is the best in the world. He says, "You may be the Phenom, but I'm a wrestling machine. We don't have very much in common. But when that bell rings, I don't have a soul either. When that bell rings, I don't plan on resting in peace. I plan on breaking your ankle in pieces." I was totally anticipating to have heard several blurps, but I've only counted one throughout the whole match.
A blurp.
Yep.
What was that?
Paul? Bloop. So The Undertaker, if you haven't followed his Instagram feed, makes this beautiful noise when he lifts.
Oh, it's amazing. So I have to give credit to this one. I never noticed this, but after listening to the AE podcast, Adam Bigelow brought this to my attention. Every time he does pretty much any lifting motion, he just goes "Beep," every single time. Like go watch any Undertaker versus Randy Orton match.
It's beautiful.
Oh God! And when he does start letting the grunts out, they're amazing. But another thing that's amazing grunt wise, Nick Patrick, that is a grunty man. When he's doing the count out, 1, 2, Kurt, get it back in the ring.
He had a concrete smoothie that morning.
When I think, I don't see a whole lot of like throat injuries that are legitimate that happen in the ring, but it made me think of Triple H and Rob Van Dam from the Elimination Chamber. Oh yeah, that one was much worse, but it's what I think of. But they get back into the ring. Kurt and Kurt Angle.
I got one worse.
Do you?
Sid coming off the top rope.
Shut up! No. Moving on.
As always, I'm Spencer.
I'm overstuffed ravioli. Hey, pal, why don't you jump off that ladder onto a bed of tables? God damn it!
It is very. It's that moment when you see Matt get hit because you know what happens later with a spot like that. But
Oh yeah,
this gives me one of my favorite JR trademark lines when this happens, because JR says, "Where the hell do you learn to fall off a damn ladder without hurting yourself? You don't. You don't learn."
as soon as Dunn realizes he cannot get the upper hand, he immediately goes for the joint manipulation. He just starts tearing at that hand, and he starts punching him in the ribs while he's trying to break his fingers. And I'm just sitting there, and then JR just says, yes, Pete Dunne has got some questionable motives with the hands.
Tyler Bate lands on the apron.
The hardest part of the ring.
The hardest part of the ring, Michael. And one of my... that's the closest to an impression you will ever get from me, first of all.
Fuck me.
As always, I'm Spencer.
I'm the Fallen Angel.
And I'm Curry Man.
Oh, fantastic. Samoa Joe comes out, and he's first. And the first thing you see in Samoa Joe's entrance is a poster that a fan has, one of those 750, and it just says, Samoa Joe is pro wrestling.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they kind of lingered on that sign for a moment, and before you see him coming, I'm like, yep, that sums up this crowd. Like these are diehard wrestling fans. And my favorite thing about TNA crowds, there's one gentleman who's at every single one of their shows, and he always has a rally towel going. I counted the rally towel shots in this pay-per-view, and I'll get to that in a moment.
The entrance of Samoa Joe, these entrances are quick. They're not super big deals. But Iron Mike says during Samoa Joe's entrance, he says, if there was ever a wrestler that defined that there are no limits to the X division, it's Samoa Joe.
What a great point. I mean, he doesn't look like your average, I'm going to go in there and have a fast-paced, hard-hitting match. He looks like the kind of guy who's going to want to slow things down a little bit.
But he
right.
does
And
not.
what's the tagline for the X Division, Landon?
The X Division is not about weight limits. It's about no limits.
The one thing I was thinking the whole time during his entrance was, I don't know why, but I love that belt.
The Dos Equis belt?
The belt is it's not the damn Dos Equis belt. It's gorgeous.
There's
No,
only
it
one
is,
X.
but the Dos Equis logo is also gorgeous.
This belt was made before the Dos Equis logo. I think.
I don't think that's correct. But be that as it may, it is a very beautiful belt. The fact that I just immediately think of Dos Equis is a sign of good branding.
That's a good point.
Fuck me, I love this. Weeks to the rally towel. Not one. Same guy. 2 towels.
Christopher Daniels lifting Samoa Joe into the Death Valley Driver.
Yes.
This
He
is
made it
right
look
after.
Easy.
This is right after Don West says, "Mike, this is everything we thought it would be and more." And then the Death Valley Driver happens.
Joe grabs both of these men and just tosses them over his head off the top rope.
He's like, it does like a double big back body drop off the top rope.
What the hell is happening?
Joe is getting himself over.
I mean, you can definitely see that all 3 of these guys are in it to win it. They are there to make a statement. They are there to show people what the X Division is all about.
Oh, yeah.
And you get the sense from each of these guys that the X Division Championship means the world to them.
Yeah, they are really putting over how important this belt is.
There's a reason AJ has made it to the list twice, and he was the winner in both of those matches.
He's phenomenal.
I mean, he is a generational type of star. I mean, he legitimately is. He's just 1 in a million, and the things that he's done for this business, and the things that the records he's broken, the athleticism, the ceilings he's shattered, the incredibly consistent reign of being good for so long. It's almost unmatched. It's really baffling.
Hope, how crazy did we pop when AJ Styles debuted at the Royal Rumble?
Y'all were rolling off the couch, and I thought the house was going to explode.
Thought the house was going to explode. That sounds accurate.
We were screaming like 10-year-olds at Christmas. We were so happy.
Oh, we were jumping up and down, hugging each other. Like it was insane. AJ Styles has caused more joy in my life than more than I'm proud to admit. More than I'm proud to admit.
As always, I'm Spencer.
I'm the best in the world.
And my name is Paul Heyman. Not really, I'm Landon.
But we also have one other, patron interaction with an email, and wouldn't you know it, it's the Steamed Ham Champ, Dylan Haggett. What did he say, Paul?
All right, so we've name dropped Meltzer maybe 3 or 4 times on here. It's usually all in
More than that.
in good fun.
In jest.
Honestly, I forget how many times I said it, but I just love this email. Dave Meltzer's star ratings mean about as much as week-old dog shite.
Thank you, Steamed Ham, for your.
My initial reaction was, wait, does he know that we're taking the piss out of Meltzer? And then I reread, oh, yeah, he knows. Okay. Because the next one is like, oh, thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate the show.
The way it feels, I mean, I think WrestleMania 29, when I think back to 29, I think it's not a good show. I think back as that one being, sort of like the low bar for these most recent WrestleManias.
Hey, we had the debut of Fandango.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Against Chris Jericho. And
Yeah.
that was actually a pretty good match.
It was.
Yeah.
It was solid.
But that match was a rib on Chris Jericho.
And how did that work
Hey.
for Fandango's career?
He fell flat in his fucking arse.
Yeah.
Literally. Guillotine leg drop was his finish, and everybody told him not to do it.
Fell in his head.
For me, and I think for everybody who remembers the feud the most, the moment where Undertaker's in the middle of the ring and he's like, this is so disrespectful. How dare you besmirch the memory of Paul Bearer? And you hear, oh, yes. Lights go out. And Paul Heyman comes out dressed like Paul Bearer
See,
with the druids.
Here it
that
comes.
was
Here
where
it comes.
it went a little too far for me.
I disagree. That's not where it goes too far.
Well, yeah, it's coming.
Where it goes too far is when Undertaker comes out and starts attacking the druids, and then Punk blindsides him and then pours the ashes on him. That is the moment where I think it went too far.
See, and for me, I disagree. I think that part is goofy. Like, no one does that. Come
He
on.
pours the ashes on him and then smears them all over his chest.
That I was fine with that part. The dressing up as someone who just died, and
At that point, it had been like a month, but I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying.
yeah, it's just, you don't take someone's likeness like that while we're still mourning them.
Well, it was obvious. I'm not going to defend him dressing up as him, but whatever.
What was obvious?
It was obviously not. It was obviously Paul Heyman just wearing a mustache and a wig.
Right.
He didn't go out of his way to look too much like Paul Bearer.
He did though. Like it's like dressing up as an Indian chief for Halloween. Like, you just don't do that nowadays.
That's a little different, but we're not going to defend race politics on our show.
Okay.
This is what?
We didn't go there. We didn't go there.
We're not a political show. We're strictly a sports entertainment podcast.
Sports entertainment. Thank you. That's a politically correct statement.
I know. I probably just pissed him off. We're a pro wrestling podcast.
Undertaker, who is not known for his great promos, has a really good clapback.
He does.
And he says, "The streak may come to an end, but you will never live to talk about it." And I love it because it's selling the match. Mm-hmm. It's like, look, we all know I'm getting up in age. You know, maybe I am going to be 20-1, but I'm going to go down swinging.
But this is personal.
Yes. Like he's not fighting to preserve the streak. He's fighting for the honor of his fallen comrade.
And it just sold how this was going to be a hell of a match.
This is the best example of live music at a WrestleMania. They have tried this so many times and it's just not worked. But when Justin Roberts says, "Ladies and gentlemen, New York's own Living Color,"
You think it's better than I am the game, you're the game, I'm the game.
change the game, you're gonna be the game, you're gonna change your name, you're gonna die the game.
Game.
We're gonna kick your ass. Yeah, it's much better than that.
I forgot about that part. No one really expected to get another Undertaker streak match. So
We didn't. I was resigned to believe that after the whole point of end of an era was that him and Trips were done.
And technically the two of them were until money later. But
Because they had their Triple H Undertaker for the last time ever at Super Showdown last year. Mm-hmm. And then like 2 months later, DX reunites.
and they have a tag.
And
The last time ever.
And,
Again.
and what I referred to as Kane's mask on a pole match. Because Shawn Michaels, to win the match, you have to let Kane climb the top rope and pull his mask off. How the fuck does that happen?
And Mike Chioda's like, "I'm going to count you out." He's in the ring. But then he gets out of the ring and he's on the side of the announce tables and decides to turn his back to the Undertaker and CM Punk and walk around the side of the ring just to get into Paul Heyman's face to tell him not to do I don't know what, because Heyman wasn't doing anything. He was just
At
standing
that
there
point,
talking.
he was just standing there.
Heyman wasn't even by the steps. He was just standing there.
Like, he was like, what could be a distraction? Oh, Heyman's a distraction.
Yeah, well, then you walk over there and
Heyman's
berate
like,
him.
I didn't do anything. I'm not doing anything. As we get the patented leg drop. And it's beautiful. Like, this is at a point now when I see Undertaker do that leg drop, I'm like, yeah, go get him, dead man. When I saw him do it in 2019, I'm like, oh, Mark, please.
Yeah, every time I see him do it, I'm like,
Mark, please. Please.
Just,
I love you. Please stop wrestling.
please stop wrestling.
Wasn't the
yes.
The Gathering sounds like a horror
I was
movie
gonna
to
say,
me.
wasn't
Did
that
you
like
watch this match?
Yeah.
It says yes. Yeah.
I believe my exact quote was, "Are we watching wrestling or are we watching a snuff film?"
Do you know how the baby doll got her nickname?
Oh my gosh. As I recall, it had something to do with a strip club.
You're absolutely right. You spoiled my ending, but you're absolutely right. She's the perfect 10. That's her.
That
nickname.
was what it was.
The perfect 10 baby doll. Her name is Nicola Roberts. Is her name, and she said, "Listen, Nicola, not really a great name for a female manager." She said most of the guys were calling her Baby Doll anyway, so that's how it kind of stuck. But Baby Doll was the name of Tully's favorite strip club in San Antonio.
I remember
Oh,
curious
wow.
about that. I'm like, it's so 80s to name him after that.
Yeah, there you go. How about that?
Wait a minute. So does that mean in kayfabe, Ty Dillinger is her son?
The perfect 10.
Yeah, like, wait a minute.
I'd buy it.
That is the chairman, Sean Spears.
Yeah, there it is. And now it explains her throwing the chair in this
my
match.
God, it's like chairception,
It all
guys.
comes full circle.
Unbelievable.
Full circle. You mean the inner circle?
Oh, there it is. See?
So now Jericho's involved?
I mean, I actually meant to say full gear. Oh my God, this Sunday.
And then Andre just goes,
Hey, Terry, you look like that Tom Selleck guy. You should be called Magnum TA.
but what I find fascinating is as soon as he gets busted open, what's the first thing that Tully Blanchard does? He starts ripping at the cut. He gets his fingers
Oh,
in there,
yeah.
and he starts biting him on the forehead. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man, that's how you get hepatitis.
Well, it almost was like that was the goal in this match for a little while because
Give your opponent a hepatitis match. Wow, that fan's really, really annoying. There is this one fan in Atlanta.
Oh no.
Woo! 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 Woo!
I'm very glad this match took place in Greensboro.
Ric
No
Flair
kidding.
had just started
Oh,
doing the
boy.
woo, and there's this one fucking fan. Knock, knock, Spencer.
who's there?
Woo! 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 The whole fucking match.
Oh, it's
Oh,
bad.
God.
And he is one of the most unique human beings I've ever talked with. He loves Freddie Mercury, the former lead singer of Queen. For you kids that don't know, you can Google it. He's a Michael Jackson devotee. He's also called the king of the strong style, meaning he's a badass. How you could go from Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, to being a badass is a unique journey, but this multi-talented, unique personality gets it done.
As much as I've dreamed about destroying Hunter Hearst Helmsley,
I know you have.
as many horrible things as I'd like to do to him,
I know you can.
I know someone who dreams about it even more.
Who is it, Manny?
Someone who's willing to do even worse things than I am.
Oh no! Are you thinking what I think you're thinking?
I think I am thinking what you think I think you're thinking.
Can you bring him out, Manny?
Here he comes.
Where is he?
Cactus Jack. He's back.
Somebody sniped me. I thought he was dead.
He's alive. He's alive. It may be the darkest day of your life because it's Madison Square Garden and Mrs. Foley's little boy.
Bye
Finally home. Bang bang.
Have mercy.
Sean, come on. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna talk me to death? Huh? Sean, face facts. You can't wrestle anymore. You're done. It's over. Your career in this ring, Sean, it's finished. HBK is dead. And whether you like it or anybody else likes it, there's a new game in town. And Sean, this time, I won't stop. You go through with this, I won't stop. I'll finish the job, Sean. I will cripple your ass. Ah!